Right, today we're going to talk about finding areas of triangles using trigonometry. So in the past, we know that we can find the area of a triangle by base times height divided by 2. And when we do that, that's only using right triangles or triangles in which the height is given to us and the base is given to us. So in this type of problem here, we're typically not dealing with right triangles. We're dealing with just any other type of triangle. Specifically acute triangles. Now, if you look at the formula here, we see that we have 1/2 BC sine of A. Okay, and if we look at angle A, right, that is where this is coming from. Now, the B and the C are the two sides that create that particular angle. So those are the three things we're looking for. Okay, so again, we're looking for two sides and the angle in between them. That's what we need, okay, to be able to figure that out. This also looks like side angle side, which is what we've talked about before. Okay, now this 1/2 right here can be written a couple different ways. You could use 1/2 in your calculation. You could take BC sine A and then divide that by 2, which would be the same thing as 1/2. That would be another way to do it. Or you can convert this to 0.5. So depending on what calculator you have, if you do not have the class calculator I recommend, I would do this way. I would do 0.5 times B times C times sine of A. If you do have the class calculator, I would do BC sine of A and then also divided by 2 using the ND function. So this would be the ND button, this would go on top, and this would go on the bottom. All right, so this looks kind of confusing, but it's really not. So let's take a look at some problems here. So the first thing we need to do is ask ourselves, do we have side angle side? And in this case, we do. So what we want now is to set up our equations. So we have our 1/2 times 9 times 18 times sine of 60. Now, it does not matter what order the 9 and the 18 go. So that's up to you to decide. And so when you plug this in the calculator, right, so here's my funny graphic for that, you should get 70.1 as your answer. So make sure on your calculator you can get this. Pause the video if you need to and calculate it on your own and make sure you can get that. All right, down here for the next example. First thing we have to look at, the angle and the two sides. Do we have side angle side? Yes, we do. So now that we have side angle side, we're going to now punch in these values. We have 1/2, however you're going to do that. If you're going to use 0.5, awesome. If you're going to do 26 times 34 times sine of 54 divided by 2, that works too. So when you punch this in, you should get 357.6. Again, don't worry about the rounding. Worst case, just round to the nearest whole number to keep things simple. All right, here's a word problem now, and this gets a little bit trickier because sometimes the words and matching them up are kind of difficult. So it says a park has two sides that measure 200 and 300 feet. Okay, so here's your two sides. And it forms, those two sides form a 65-degree angle. So that's why 65 goes here. They want you to find the area of the park to the nearest 100th square foot. We can just keep it to the nearest square foot just to keep things easy. So when we type in our equation, we have 1/2 times the two sides times sine of 65. And when you do this, we should get a value of 27,189.2, which is about 27,189 feet. So it's actually quite simple. The trick really comes down to, are you able to use the calculator or not? And also, do you have side angle side? So first thing, do you have side angle side? And then can you use the calculator to get your answer? So hopefully this makes sense. If you don't understand what's going on, please send me your questions and I'll try my best to help you.